Hello everyone, this is Spark of Imagination here, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I am done. I am so done with hearing the amounts of bullcrap between two certain characters that you guys most likely know and most likely don't know. But if you guys are here and just now opening up this video, then I welcome you to this video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the facts about the difference between Spyro and Figment, since those are apparently two dragons that nobody doesn't really know the difference of. So today I'm here to tell you the facts about those two dragons. So stay tuned as I go on ahead and tell you all the facts behind those two characters. So as many of you know, Spyro and Figment are two separate characters and two separate dragons from two separate companies. Figment is a dragon from Disney, from the Walt Disney Company, and he was created in 1981 by the legendary man himself, Tony Baxter, with Spyro being created in September 9th of 1998, being the first initial release by Insomniac Games, where he was first premiered in his very first video game for the original PlayStation 1 console. Figment is technically the earlier generation of Spyro, even though in reality, Figment is his own character and he has no brother to Spyro whatsoever. As many people would assume that Figment is technically the older brother of Spyro, only because that Figment was created in an earlier date, while he has the same somewhat colors compared to Spyro, when in reality, Figment has his own colors that do not match and compare to Spyro himself. Did you guys know that besides the fact that Spyro was created by Insomniac Games and the fact that he was created at a later date compared to Figment, did you guys know that even Spyro himself is smaller than Figment? That is quite a difference, actually, as a matter of fact, and that is actually a fact. If you guys look up on Wikipedia and look at his own size, he is actually smaller than Figment himself. And the fact that these two characters were created by two separate people and two separate companies and blah 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 blah, they're both different. They are not the same. Also, as another fact, Spyro breathes fire. Figment doesn't. Although they are both dragons, Figment does not breathe fire, but Spyro does. And just as a matter of fact, Figment and Spyro's colors are majorly in the difference. If you take a look at Spyro's scaled color, it is more of a darker purple, while Figment's color is more of a lighter purple. It's more of like a lightish gray purple kind of color that Figment has. And if you take a look at Spyro's belly colors and his horns and his wings, they're all technically a orangish gold color. Well, with Figment, he has a pink belly and he has orange horns and he has orange wings, orange spikes, or known as horns. He has all those kinds of colors. They do not really match whatsoever if you really take a closer look at their colors. Also, as a matter of fact, that both Figment and Spyro also have the somewhat same personalities, but they're a little bit different in some way, shape, or form. Although they are both very adventurous creatures, they're both very curious creatures and all that kind of stuff, they both have somewhat the same traits, but they're not really much the same. As what I'm trying to say is that Figment has more of a joyful and curious personality. His own personality is more bubbly, as what I would like to express towards Figment. But with Spyro, he's more of a somewhat curious, more adventurous. He likes to run wild and all that kind of stuff. Spyro has different personality compared to Figment. Now, as we all know, of course, they are both dragons. They both have wings. They both can fly. Figment is imaginary, while Spyro is just a regular dragon, but also just mainly premieres in a video game. Now, to top it off here, too, is that they're both really popular characters. We get it. Figment has a lot of merchandise. What about Spyro? Well, Spyro doesn't have very much merchandise, but that's mainly because he's just a separate company character. And that sort of company itself does not really bring much of merchandise line compared to what is provided compared to Figment. While Figment has more of a, what I would say, a very expensive hobby for most people, Spyro doesn't really have much of a merchandise line. Although that they have made a lot of Spyro merchandise back in the past, somewhat like around the mid-2000s, late 2010s, all that kind of stuff, Figment has been having his own merchandise ever since he was created in the 1980s by Tony Baxter. Actually, as a matter of fact, fun fact about Figment is that he's been around actually since the 1970s, as he was first premiered in a concept art for a original attraction that was supposed to appear at Epcot when it was first being built, but because of the fact that all of that work got scrapped and Kodak came into place and took a sponsorship, Journey into Imagination was then created at that time. It's very crazy to know the certain circumstances of differences between the two dragons, and especially the fact that something I did not mention is that the eye colors are absolutely different. Figment has more yellow eyeballs with black pupils. With Spyro, he has white eyeballs with, I think it's like a darker colored purple as his own pupil colors. Those are definitely some differences too. And it kind of really disappoints me when people don't know the exact differences between these two characters, because as many of you should know, those two characters, they are not the same. They are absolutely different characters. Spyro and Figment were really compared to each other. You would absolutely see no difference whatsoever, except the only same thing that they would basically have is just their personality. And, of course, they're a dragon. Also, as a matter of fact, too, Spyro walks on all fours, and Figment is kind of like what I would say anthropomorphic, because although he is a dragon, he walks on two legs, he runs on two legs, he has wings, so of course he does fly just like Spyro, but he doesn't go on all fours. That is a difference. Spyro can walk on all fours, he can run on all fours, he can jog on all fours. Figment only runs and walks and jogs on his own two hind legs. And that's how the person Dreamfinder saw him to be. A character, a dragon, that would be able to walk, stand around like a human being, so anthropomorphic. He's an anthropomorphic animal with, I would say, somewhat human-like characteristics, although Figment is still a dragon inside of him. But I honestly hope that you guys learned a lot of stuff from this kind of small YouTube video about the difference between those two dragons in general, because trust me, it really gets annoying when someone doesn't really know the difference between those two dragons. Although, as I said before, they somewhat do have the same exact personalities, but they aren't exactly the same character. They're different characters from a different company, from a different video game, and all that kind of stuff. Even though Figment never even premiered in his own video game, but he may have his very own movie later on in the future, because we have been seeing newsletters and documents of a Figment movie being produced at the Walt Disney Company. But either way, I hope you guys learned a lot of lessons from this video, and I sure hope you guys will understand that the fact that those two dragons do not have anything in common. And it's the fact that, besides they are still dragons, they are still small, they are still cute, they are still adorable, however you want to put it at it, they're still dragons, and they have no same anything besides what I was just saying earlier. Hopefully you guys get this right this time. It's going to be on your exam tomorrow, so I hope you pass. If you don't, I don't know what else to tell you except shame. Anyways, you guys, my name is Spark of Imagination. Thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Keep working with your imagination. Bye.